So just let me preface the video by saying this is my first real YouTube video, also my first review for MRTX Tech. We are a sort of a startup family business, and I wanted to review the Creality K2 Plus because there's just a lot of information out there that just maybe might not be 100% accurate from a user point of view. So I've got the video on a little tripod here. I'm just kind of showing you the open door view of the K2 Plus. This is a big build volume, you know, compared to the other printer I have, the P1S Bamboo, 350 by 350 by 350, and you get to use all of that space, right? So that is a benefit over the H2D by Bamboo. So the ownership has been great. In the very beginning, the Creality, the K2, it beat the Bamboo Lab. I had many issues with Bamboo and the software jiving with my with the Bamboo Studio on the laptop. I had lots of errors, connectivity issues, and the K2 right out of the box, bam. I was tinkering and building little boats and doing pretty much, you know, all the things you do when you first get a printer and you're new to it, right? So lots of 3D benchies, pretty much anything, vases in the beginning. I've ran quite a few different material through the CFS, everything from PETG carbon fiber, PLA carbon fiber, nylon, PA6 glass reinforced. I've also ran some HTPLA by Protopasta. We'll talk about that later in the video. Didn't go so well. But very few feeding issues. I have had some CFS issues where it just won't feed properly or won't retract after the print is done. A lot of times that has to do with the cardboard spools, the smaller ones, like Protopasta has a very small cardboard spool that they utilize for their filament, and it just doesn't like it. The CFS does not like it. Is it possible to run it? Yes, I'm working on printing out some spool holders, some different, you know, adapters. But getting down to the K2 Plus, I've been super impressed. You know, being sort of new to the 3D printer game, you know, I've had very few issues. The learning curve, as far as utilizing the printer itself, was not as steep as I thought. Now the software, 3D modeling, all of that, of course, you know, the learning curve is pretty steep, right? Especially if you don't do it for a living and you're just doing it, you know, as a side business or a side hustle or just like to tinker. It can be tough, but there's ways around it, utilizing, you know, paying for licenses and things of that nature. But so the original PEI textured bed that I used was the one that came with the printer, and it's worked great. I just switched over to the smooth PEI, and I just ran my first run last night with it. Great adhesion. I mean, superior adhesion. And that was with the HTPLA carbon fiber from Protopasta. Like I said, I did have those feeding issues, especially on the retraction. Once the print was done, the spool just wouldn't. It wouldn't spin. It would get caught up at the top of the CFS. I'll show you all kind of a close-up view here shortly. The hot end is great. You know, I did have to switch. I did have to put a new 0.4 nozzle after running some PPS carbon fiber, and that was more because I just felt like I should, you know, with that material rather than I had to. I probably could have extruded it a little bit more, got it cleaner, maybe did a dry extrude, something like that. But I just switched the nozzle. It's so quick, man. All you got to do is heat it up to 240 degrees. And switch out the nozzle. I mean, that's literally it. I think the big key feature that I did not see in a lot of videos was heating up that nozzle to 240 degrees before swapping the nozzle, right? So, that's imperative. That comes from Creality, not from me. So, the touchscreen is awesome. It's pretty responsive. It's not iPhone responsive, but it works really well. I personally like Creality software that runs the K2. I haven't had any major issues, especially with compatibility like I did with the Bamboo Lab. It just works. Let's bring you over here. I'm gonna take you off this nifty tripod here. That I have to. Shaky. Oh, there we go. And it's probably broken. All right, so take a look here. Got two little latches on the side. Open up. Right, and that's where your filament will go. You got desiccant holders down there in the bottom, which is pretty neat. I noticed that these Protopasta spools work tremendously better than the smaller version. And of course, anything plastic works well. And these are actually really good cardboard spools as well. Who is that by? That is Overture. It's a silk PLA. I printed something for the daughter, which is works really well too. And I've used all different brands, guys. Pretty much whatever I like the look of, and the material I needed, I just bought the brand, right? Because I wanted to see, if we could run whichever brand. We didn't have to be, buying directly from Creality just for the RFID tag, right? So here's the smooth build plate. Very nice. Like I said, very first print, and I'm not sure why. There is some residue, some leave-ins from the last print. But the touchscreen, I'll show you. Pretty responsive, Sorry about that light there. I'm not sure why it's not zooming. Let's see if we can't zoom out a little. There we go. Give you a little bit better look at it. Works well. I mean, you can do so much from here. You can look at some of the prints. You can look at any type of issues that you have. It'll show up in down with this little guy at the bottom there. We have a little dot by his head, but you do have the glass door, got the plastic sides, I believe. Then I have the CFS mounted at the top, which probably isn't ideal because I'm not the tallest guy and I kind of got to get a stool. But man, I've just been so impressed with this thing. I run a 0.4 nozzle right now. I'm probably going to go up to a 0.6 just for speed, for production runs, right? But I have greased it since I've had it. I've had it about probably 3 months now, and I've ran it through the ringer, guys. I mean, I've put this thing through some torture. I've ran a lot of prints on it, and it's worked well. It's stout. It's not that loud. I swear my P1S over here, this old girl here, she is a workhorse. She works well, but we'll do a review on her in the next series, or the next video. Not really a series, but I did print an alien clock, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, this background was my wife's old background, so I did do it, but it was for her. This used to be her TikTok live area, right? So, and of course this is messy. Not everybody's 3D printing area is super clean, but check this out. So to show y'all, this is a 3D benchy I printed in PPS carbon fiber. There's that metal sound everyone likes to hear. Yep, it's actually printed with the K2 Plus and let's see if we can't get down up in here. I mean, the quality is pretty decent. I know that this camera doesn't show you layer lines and stuff, but I mean, for PPS carbon fiber and engineering filament at 330 degrees print temperature, I mean, it's pretty good. I did break the top off just to see how strong it was, but printed well. Let's see what else. I do have a poop chute back here because there are quite a few poopies that you get with some color change prints. Now, the color changing aspect of 3D printing with a CFS type module is, I would say, slow, right? I know there's some new printers out there right now that are kind of changing the game, really. Maybe we'll do a review on those one day if I can ever get enough subs to, get a model in to review. I don't know. We'll see. But, it works, and it works well. I've done lots of multicolor prints. That alien clock was one of them. I did a lizard, all the normal stuff that you do, right? But a lot of the prints that I've been doing right now have been single color, carbon fiber, trying to run all the specialty nylons, stuff like that. So I probably didn't go over everything, but I wanted this video to be kind of quick and to the point and say, if you're considering a Creality K2 Plus, man, go for it. The build volume, just the quality of the build is fantastic. I mean, this thing is stout. It's big, don't get me wrong, but it's stout. And I haven't had any issues with this thing, y'all. I mean, I've had some feeding issues. That's it. The PPS carbon fiber, all I did was run it from over here. I ran it from over here, straight up into the right here. Sorry, guys. Straight up into the thing, all the way through the Bowden tube into the direct drive extruder, right? So, and it printed. It printed well. So, now I'm not a professional, right? But in my opinion, it printed really well. I hope to do some more PPS carbon fiber builds in the future. Actually, maybe some usable parts, and maybe put them in the field and see how well they work, right? Some real world testing. Let's see, anything else, guys? Just hit me up in the comments, man. If you want to subscribe, that's cool. This is a very start of a YouTube channel, and this is probably going to be super cringe. But if you got to the end, man, I appreciate it. Just hit me up on the comments if you got any questions on it. We'll do the P1S next. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Later.